Now we've seen how we can create a new object from a class, which is sometimes called declaring an object, but I'd like to reiterate what this means. So creating a new object from a class is also called instantiating an object. Now we can instantiate a new dog object by typing the name of the class, in this case dog with a capital D, followed by opening and closing parentheses. We can then pass in the two parameters, with the first being name, so we'll set this equal to Bruno, and we'll pass in an age of 4. When we run this code, you can see that we obtain the location in memory where this dog object is stored. So we now have a dog object. Now, if you've run the same code on your machine, you will notice that the address you see on your screen is different. So let me create a new dog object, and we'll store this in a variable called my_Bruno. And we'll set this equal to a call on the dog class, so we'll put dog, and inside parentheses we'll put Bruno, and then we'll put the age 4. When I now print out my_Bruno, you can see we get the location in memory. And if I were to put my_Bruno.name and access the name that's associated with this instance of the dog object, you can see we get Bruno. And if I access age, you can see we get 4. Now let's suppose that you also have a dog called Bruno who is 4 years old. If I create a variable called your_Bruno and set this equal to a call on the dog class and pass in Bruno as the first argument and 4 as the second, you can see that when I print your_Bruno, we get a different location in memory where this object is stored. And this is because we've created a completely new instance of the dog object, despite having the same name and the same age. And to prove this, if I put my_Bruno is equal to your_Bruno, you can see that we get false returned. And this makes sense. We could have two dogs which are completely separate objects, so to speak, and they both have the same name Bruno, and they are both 4 years old. So even though your Bruno and my Bruno are both instances of the dog class, with the same arguments passed into the parameters, they represent two distinct objects in memory. So hopefully you're starting to observe that one of the biggest advantages of using classes to organize data is that instances are guaranteed to have the attributes that you expect. In this case, we will always need to define a name attribute, and we'd always need to define an age attribute. So we can then use these attributes with confidence, knowing that they will always return a value if ever we call these attributes on the instances that we create.